Okay, so my name is Carol Nace. I'm a certified Ayurvedic practitioner in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I have a small Ayurvedic practice called Bodhi Ayurveda. I came to Ayurveda through the path of yoga. Um, gosh, it's been about 10 years now. And I started studying Ayurveda and getting interested in Ayurveda for my own health and well being. And after spending many years starting out in the corporate world, being an accountant and project management, really have decided that this is probably the righter path for me than the corporate world.
Wow. So you were an accountant.
Oh, I still am, and if when tax season comes around, a lot of people call on that.
And I read on your website that you also have a massage therapy background.
Yes, I did decide to get my massage license, and that was about a year ago that I received that license. It's been a nice addition to my practice, just because I think people are aware of our massage more so than they are Ayurveda. So it's a nice way of getting people to find me through the massage, and then I get to talk about this wonderful practice of Ayurveda with them.
Great. So describe like when you started your schooling and who your teacher was and all of that.
Sure, sure. Yeah, so I was practicing Ayurveda and doing some self study for many years before I decided to go to school. And I actually completed my master's when I really was in that stage of realizing that climbing the corporate ladder wasn't what I wanted to really do. It was more, I have this amazing insight on myself and through the use of Ayurveda, and I wanted to start sharing that with other people. So it was time to go to school and become certified so I could share that with others. In the process of deciding where to go to school, I had been introduced to Pat Layton, who has become really like an Ayurvedic guru for me. She will always be a teacher for me. And when she opened up her school, the Bhavana Institute of Yoga and Ayurveda in LaGrange, Illinois, in 2009, 2010, I decided to join that school and spend 2 years going to Chicago and studying with her to become certified.
So how long did it take you to drive to get to your school?
For me, I actually took the train from Milwaukee right down to just 2 blocks from her school. It was very convenient, and it was the whole process of leaving town and leaving behind the world that I lived in at the time in Milwaukee was very wonderful in the sense that I really got to shut off the corporate side of my life, and I got to completely immerse myself in the Ayurveda world that I was entering. So the train ride was like a meditative time for me. I could review my books, or I could just watch the world go by outside the window and just contemplate on what adventure I was on.
Nice. Yeah, maybe it felt like you were passing through a portal to a different
Exactly, right?
world.
The transition. Yeah, the
hmm
transition that was happening.
hmm So, how do you feel about your education now? Are you glad that you went through your training?
Oh, absolutely. And I can't imagine trying to start this practice without some type of a certification program to get you started. And it is something that when you open this portal of even spending 2 years and over 1,000 of hours in classroom and then more than a couple hundred hours in internship, you start realizing like, wow, you're still just scratching a surface of knowledge that you can continue to grow and expand into. And it also was a good time for me to understand where within Ayurveda did I want to focus my energies. Was it going to be teaching? Was it going to be consulting? Was it going to be working in the bodywork environment? There's just so many choices and so many directions we can go into.
Right. So, what kind of calls to you now? It seems to me that the body therapy has been very attractive to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There is something magical about touching another person and having that touch therapy involved, to be able to physically sense the change that's happening them with you when you work with them, whether it be through, massages and does it. But it really gets to be quite magical when you see change occur through, say, an abhyanga or a shirodhara. To watch a person just transform as they're receiving a shirodhara is very rewarding for myself, just because I know how profound of an experience it is for them. and even getting deeper into the panchakarma therapies as well, and seeing how people transform through that small period of time where they really took care of themselves and you helped guide them through it. It really is starting to become quite a passion for me.
So the Panchakarma, at least on your website, it says coming soon, but have you
Yes,
actually guided people through Panchakarma?
I have. I am certified as a panchakarma technician through the Diva Ayurveda program. And the coming soon is actually coming very, very soon. I would say watch my website over the next coming weeks, and I will be able to start announcing where I'll be available for Panchakarma services.
Wonderful.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yes. So, what is your favorite aspect of being an Ayurvedic practitioner?
Hmm. I think on a day by day basis, it can change. When there's days that I need to come back to my practice and be more reflective in what I need, it's wonderful that it's always there for me. Down to even this morning when I had a consultation come in and listen to my client talk about how she's recognizing how much she's learned about herself and that she's using what she's learning from me as a way to make decisions on taking care of herself or assess how she's feeling today versus tomorrow or how the seasons are changing or if she just had a son get married. So that process took her a little off schedule and she now feels enlightened by how she can control getting back on track and has that empowerment within herself.
That is great. That is
I
really
see it
great.
all the time. It's wonderful to see it happen.
Yeah, that is so great. Okay, so what are some of the challenges? What is like one of the main challenges that you encounter in being a practitioner?
Oh, goodness. Um, I think the awareness is part of the biggest challenge. Even though in Milwaukee we're pretty blessed with having quite a few individuals aware of Ayurveda through the teachings at the Kanyakumari School and their students, as well as through just education by all of us to the community. There still is a broad awareness that can still happen in our community about what Ayurveda is and even just how to pronounce the word, let alone to understand its benefits that it can have to every one of us. So I think we just have a lot of community service work that we can provide, and the challenge is just making those connections and getting the word out. Talk about it wherever you can.
Right. Yes. When
Mm-hmm.
I moved to San Antonio, I went to a Whole Foods and I told one of the workers at one of the employees at Whole Foods that
Okay.
I was an Ayurvedic practitioner, and they gave me the deer in the headlight stare. And
Are you what?
yeah, I was like, this is not good if a Whole Foods employee does not know what this is. I was like, wow, this is going to take a while. But I did subsequently meet people who worked at Whole Foods who had heard of it and
Oh,
knew
good.
about some of the body therapies. So,
That's
so
good.
that was good.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Hmm.
I know I take quite a bit of pride in putting a good part of my energy in my business towards trying to educate people because if there isn't the knowledge, it doesn't matter what therapies I might provide if they don't know about me or about the practice, about how it can relate to them and their lives. You know, I can have the prettiest website and the most amazing business in place, but it needs to be educated.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So tell us a little bit about your business and if you like what is your website and do you sell any products or are you
Oh yeah.
yeah. So tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So Bodhi Ayurveda, I started that practice in 2011, about a year or so after I started the certification program, just to get it started, to start consulting people at an educator level, to consulting people on their doshas, on their diet, their lifestyle routines, and since then it has grown into a lot more education to community, whether it be workshops. I actually have some new workshops that'll be coming out in December in the Bayview area of Wisconsin. That is a small town just south of town of downtown. Um, let's see. Yeah, there's some news about Panchakarma coming out, so keep your eyes open. I also do have a small practice that I work out of my home with existing clients. So that's a nice peaceful space. We're actually in that space right now, where I can offer services to people, and that's the whole gamut, whether it be consultations, body work, and all of that. If you go to my website, www.bodhi-ayurveda.com, you can see a list of everything I have going on there around services, as well as another coming soon, probably within the next 7 to 10 days. My website will be updated with my online store, and I do create products such as mostly teas right now, and then some other like health and well-being and daily routine products. But the teas really started out as a way to share the herbal formulas with people in a safe and effective way and something they were familiar with. And I was making recommendations all the time on them. So I thought, well, let's just make the teas in advance. And they've become quite popular amongst my clients and in some parts of the community.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, are the teas Ayurvedic herbs or are they Western herbs? And, what form do they come in when people order those off of your website?
Oh, absolutely. I would say most of the formulas do have an Ayurvedic flavor to them, whether it be a traditional recipe as well as the traditional herbs. But then I also do have some that are more Western herbs focused as well. But then I do, and when I have my website up with those, you'll see the description as to, from an Ayurvedic perspective, how do they support you and your wellness. And remind me, what the other half of your question was? Oh, how it comes in form. Yes, so
Yeah.
I sell them in 4 ounce loose leaf bags.
Nice.
Yeah, it lasts you a long time.
Yes, that's wonderful. Do you have anything else that you would like to tell us today?
Um, I think the one thing I can say is that anyone that is interested in learning more about Ayurveda, a certification program is a wonderful way to do it. Even if it's just for self awareness and self knowledge for your family, the program, and including an online program, can fit into really anyone's lifestyle. And you can't harm yourself by learning this information. So I would say encourage people to explore the option of going to school and getting certified in Ayurveda.
Yeah, that's good. I feel like there's not a day now since I went through my schooling that I don't use the information that I learned in
Yeah.
school. It's so practical. It has, it's having to do with food and caring for yourself, caring for your family. So it's you will use it every single day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be interesting to even have that opportunity to see if I hadn't taken that path in my life, just where would my health be? Where would my wellness be now if I had chosen the path I was already on? Because I went to Ayurveda because of my own health issues. So if I would have gone the other directions of maybe just taking on the same habits that I was at the time, going to my regular, physician and getting on medications versus taking more of a holistic approach and embracing the wellness for myself. Yeah, where would I be today?
Right.
I don't think I'd be quite as well. Personally, that's just personal, but I definitely am feeling very gratified and blessed that Ayurveda has given me as much as it has for my own health and well-being, as well as what I see with my clients.
That's so great. Well, thank you so much for meeting with me today, Carol, and anybody who takes the time to watch this. I'm sure that
Certainly,
they
thank
will
you to all of you.
enjoy. Yes, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste to everyone. Thank you.